Baseball tonight leads off with a full house. Tino Martinez, Jeff Brantley, Tim Kirchin, and Mark Pryor. One of a bevy of big-name pitchers on the hill on this Saturday. And Pryor's second outing of the season, much better than his first. 5 2/3. Did give up 3 earned runs, struck out 4. And oh, by the way, you Cub fans will be glad to know Derek Lee makes his return on Sunday. Phillies Red Sox, Kurt Schilling against his former team, struck out 10. 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned along the way, and
probably got the scouting report.
He does. And on the other side, Brett Myers, a day after pleading not guilty to domestic assault, he went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, 3 earned, struck out 5. Red Sox win 5-3, and there was big-time late-inning drama in this ballgame. Roy Halladay against the Mets. He was staked to an early 6-run lead, and, well, that's pretty much all she wrote when Halladay gets that kind of support.
Throw strikes, baby. Just throw strikes.
Did give up 10 hits in 7 1/3. Not his crispest outing of the season, but it didn't need to be. Blue Jays win the game 7-4. And a guy who some say should be starting the All-Star game for the National League, Bronson Arroyo, against the Indians. Up until today, not his finest outing. 6 innings, 3 earned. Not terrible, but, you know, when your team scores no runs, you're not going to get a lot of wins. And he didn't get one today. And with that, welcome to Baseball Tonight. Scott Reese hanging out with Tino and JB and Timmy. And Barry Bonds hit his 719th career home run, but that wasn't the storyline. We had 5, count them, 5 walk-off wins on this day, and there's still a couple of games in progress. First, the Tigers and the Cardinals, maybe the game of the day. Kenny Rogers looking to become the first 11-game winner in the AL and helping his own cause, huh?
That's how you win a Gold Glove on the mound, right?
The base hit, that ball gets by him, it's a base hit.
Scotty Rowland at the bat, and pickoff throws a rock.
Not how you get a goal.
No, it's not. And all the way down the line, Scott Spezio scores to make it 1-0 Cards. Bottom 6, 6-4. Scott Rowland doing what he does. Nice pick at first.
Great play by Poole, but nobody better at third base than Scott Rowland.
In the 7th.
Look at that.
Or good defense. Albert had 4 hits last night. Good ball today.
At the plate. He's good.
Bottom 9, Jason Isringhausen trying to protect a 2-run lead, and he does not. Marcus Timms doing the deed.
Leads that team in home runs. The ball was up, it was away from him, and he still got it over there.
15 home runs. They love him in Motown. 6-6 game. We go to the 10th. Runner aboard for Placido Polanco. That will split the gap.
It's one of Tony La Russa's favorite players he ever had. Placido Polanco came back to haunt his old manager today.
Curtis Granderson scores from first, and the Tigers in walk-off fashion win 7-6 in 10 innings. Now, Tino, one of the more intriguing matchups in this game. Kenny Rogers had never before faced Albert Pujols. Take us through what you saw.
Well, what I saw was he knew, obviously, the threat that Albert Pujols is, and he tried to pitch around him a little bit. He tried to nibble, show him everything he had, high fastballs, change-ups. He wasn't going to let Albert Pujols beat him with the long ball. So first pitch out here, you'll see a fastball. Surprise him right away. Just come right after him with another fastball. Then he goes to a change-up, and Pujols stays right on this one. It's a hard ball to second base there. Then the second at bat here, you'll see here in a minute. A couple of curveballs right here. He gets Pujols to a 2-2 count. And he has a choice here, obviously, to throw some balls in the dirt, make him chase, or go for the intentional walk while there's a man at second and third right here. Kenny Rogers, Jim Leadon out to put him on base. Even though Scott Rowland is very hot, that just goes to show the threat that Albert Pujols is. And even Kenny Rogers never faced him before. He did not want to let Pujols beat him today.
Yeah, and the book is out on Pujols. Whether you've seen him or not, you pretty much know what you're getting.
Doesn't matter.
Big Al. Moving on to the World Series Part 2, if you will, Astros and White Sox. Ozzie Guillen's club looking for their first 9-game win streak since 1977, but they'd have to go through Taylor Buchholz. Mowing them down one after the other. 7th inning, Sox down 5-1, but here they come. Jermaine Dye. Well, it's a line drive in the box score. Location, location, location.
You got sun in Chicago, you got wind, the Papas in Chicago, in Wrigley and in Comiskey Park. You never know what's going to happen to the ball.
Now Phil Garner comes out to make the move to Chad Qualls. We flash back to Game 2 of the Fall Classic. Qualls couldn't protect a 4-2 lead. Paul Konerko, the granny. This time, Joe Crede.
You know, and Buckholz really pitched a good ball game, but he didn't get a whole lot of help from the bullpen today. As you see, that ball went a long way.
Grand slam for Creed. He's got 3 slams this year.
And they've got a slam in 2 games in a row. How many teams have done it 3 games in a row, believe me?
So we go to the 10th inning of a 5-5 game. They're loaded for Alex Cintron ball game. And the White Sox have won 9 straight games.
And scored 83 runs in those 9 games.
6-5 your final, another walk-off win. Ozzie is happy. Now, before the game, General Manager Kenny Williams taped an interview with ESPN in preparation for Sunday Night Baseball. And among the questions he was asked, what about your skipper, Ozzie Guillen, who has been fined and suspended this week? A controversy seems to surround the Chi Sox skipper. And here's what the GM had to say.
The simple fact is we have seen this movie before, and if it continues on, the likelihood that maybe something will happen to the degree where the fire will be blazing will be such that, you know, maybe one day I'll have to walk into the office and deliver some bad news and walk down and announce a new manager, and that's just the reality of the situation, and we are trying to get him to understand that if he puts himself in that position, it will be to me one of the most unfortunate sports, you know, happenings in a long time, because we need people like Ozzie Guillen out there to kind of give a little bit of color and a little bit of flavor to the game.
The degree that the fire is blazing. Tim, very interesting comments from a general manager about his sitting manager.
Right, and I thought it was very interesting that he would say that. And ultimately, you know, Ozzie Guillen has to understand, you know, he's not the fun-loving, fiery shortstop that he used to be. He's the manager of a baseball team. He is one of the voices of the club. He has a responsibility here, and he just cannot come out and say these things. Otherwise, the next step is going to be a suspension, and as Kenny Williams said, it could go well beyond that.
And, of course, you can see more of that interview tomorrow night, Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. And, well, the stage has been set. It's been a great series so far. Sox going for the sweep against Berkman and company. First pitch just after 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Following baseball tonight, it is Sunday Night Baseball. Due up on the current installment of baseball tonight. You know he's got the right stuff. David was at it once again. We'll show you what the Mets did north of the border, and more drama in Beantown. Big Papi, you might say he called his shot, in effect. We'll show you what went down in the late innings there against the Phils. And, of course, it's a staple of the program, the defensive dandies that you've come to know and love as the top 5 web gems. And, oh, yeah, we show you the long balls as well. All coming up on Baseball Tonight.
Baseball Tonight, brought to you by Lowe's. For all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, let's build something together.
Mets Blue Jays, and this is not a matchup that favored El Duque. 6-10 in his career against Toronto, worst against any team. And you hang him to Troy Gloss, well, he's lucky that wasn't deposited 50 miles an hour. Come on, 50. Then he comes back in 91 and gets it.
Not much you do that 50-mile-an-hour fast changeup, except hit it in the seats like he did foul.
How fast does 91 look after 50?
Oh, that's got to be about 105.
About 191, I think. There. Trouble in the second. He walks over Bay. He plunks Aaron Hill. So here comes Rick Peterson. Settle down. Customary mound visit number 1. No big whoop. Okay. After a couple outs, bases are loaded. The bloop from Catalanato plates a pair to make it 3-0. Next batter, Vernon Wells.
He's a strong man. That ball was away from him, a little bit down, and he hooks it down the left field line.
First of 2 homers on the day, and then chin music to Gloss. C.B. Buckner warns both benches, and now Willie Randolph comes out, just settle down, it's all good. But you know what? That's 2 mound visits, right? Once you got 2, you're out. And that's exactly what the umpires explained to Randolph. He says, your pitcher's got to come out of the game. I don't think Duque's happy about that.
I don't think it was a bad pitch. He came up and in on Gloss there. It didn't look like it was too bad. And Randolph did the right thing by coming out to calm him down. I can't believe he charged him as a mound visit there.
Well, Roy Halladay doing just fine with that 6-run lead. 7 innings, 7 in the 3rd innings, 10 hits. And Justin Spire helps set up B.J. Ryan, 7 for the final. But, Cowboy, you give Halladay a 6-0 lead, more often than not, you're going to come away with
Book
a W.
it.
Yeah.
Well, watching Halliday after that second inning, the only thing that he had to do was get the ball over the plate. You're talking about a guy that has Cy Young material every time he walks out onto the mound, and that's exactly what Roy Halladay did. He wasn't worried about where the pitches were. All he was trying to do was get the ball over the plate and throw quality strikes from that point on, and that's exactly what he did. He had his breaking ball working for strikes. He had his slider working for strikes, and you can see David Wright right there not real happy with that call, but the bottom line was Halladay just kept getting the ball over the plate. And you can see here on this play, Vern Wells misjudges this ball, and that's really the only mistake that was made in the ball game. Otherwise, Halladay had everything working. And when you stake a pitcher of Halladay's caliber to this type of lead, especially 6 runs early in the ball game, you're going to have a real difficult time. I don't care if you're the Mets or if you're what kind of offensive club you have. You're going to have a tough time with a guy like Halladay because you're almost chasing the rabbit at this point, because he had everything working and all the pressure laid back on the Mets, and they just had a difficult time from that point on.
Halladay's won 9 of his last 10 decisions, and the Blue Jays keeping the heat on the front runners there in the American League East. Of course, the first place team would be the Boston Red Sox. We'll get to the Red Sox and Phils momentarily. Right now, we update you from San Diego. 9-5 Mariners, and J.J. Putt's trying to shut it down. Bases loaded, nobody out. Gets Josh Bard staring. And then Mike Cameron waving.
And that a little giddy up at the end, isn't it?
So, one more hurdle there as there are 2 outs and the bases loaded. We will let you know. Now the Phils and Sox. Brett Myers on the hill, of course, charged with domestic violence count yesterday. And here he serves it up to Mike Lowell. Lowell's already got as many home runs this year as last year.
He's got the pull swing back. I had a long talk with him. He has no idea what happened last year, except he had a bad year, period.
Yeah, leave it at that. Mark Loretta up the middle, and Aaron Rowan throws it somewhere toward Naugatuck.
Well, you're not going to see Rowan do this too much. This guy is a really good center fielder. I think the ball just came out of his hand when he came up to throw, and whoops, obviously that was airmailed all over the.
But not an error. We'll get back to that in a minute. Red Sox up 3-2. And Kurt Schilling, well, just pretty much doing his thing, huh?
Well, the one thing about Schills, when he has that split finger working, you've got to look for the fastball, and when he gets that split down in the strike zone, you're not going to hit too many of those.
And Jimmy Rollins hits one to tie it at 3 in the 9th. They're loaded with 2 outs. Jonathan Papelbon went 96, 97, 96, and got Burrell. In the bottom of the 10th, Tom Gordon on in a non-save situation facing Big Papi.
Ortiz with a drive. Deep to center. Way back. Way back. He's done it again. The hero has arrived.
Alex Gonzalez said he actually heard Ortiz tell a groundskeeper before the bottom of the 10th, that's it. Guess he knew it was coming.
Book it.
You don't put your closer in the ball game, in a tie ball game, on the road with the game tied. You just don't do that. If you can't manage the bullpen any better than that, you got a problem.
Meanwhile, the Sox again were errorless in the field. That is a dozen consecutive games now that the Red Sox have not committed an error. And Tim, this is a franchise that historically is not the most fundamentally sound defensively.
No kidding. I mean, 12 in a row, that's a club record. They have 10 fewer errors than any other team in the major leagues right now. These are the Red Sox. In the last 85 years, only twice have they led the major leagues in fielding percentage, 1921 and 1950. And they're doing it basically with a whole new infield here. And we all know about the left side, which has been especially good. Mike Lowell's a Gold Glover last year. Alex Gonzalez, shortstop, has been brilliant. 52 straight games with an error. This is so unlike the Red Sox to be this way, but they have another way to win a game. They can beat you defensively now.
All right, so the Blue Jays win, the Red Sox win. What about the Yankees? Well, it would be a short day at the stadium. There's Don Larson. Get him out with that this year, the 60th or the 50th anniversary of the perfect game in the '56 series. First inning, Miguel Cabrera singles barely fair. Hanley Ramirez in to make it 1-0, but it would not matter. This one is off the books because the rain comes out. They postpone the ball game. Be made up as a day-night doubleheader on Sunday. Game 1, Willis versus Mussina. Due up on baseball tonight, Mark Pryor's second outing of the season was a significant step up from his first outing. We'll show you what went down with the Cubbies. And, of course, this guy at it again. Barry Bonds with a sweet swinging afternoon. We'll show you what he did by the bay. So here's how it went down in San Diego. J.J. Putz comes on in the ninth, gives up 4 straight singles, and then comes back, strikes out the side. Just that simple. Mariners beat the Pods 9-5. And with that, welcome back to Baseball Tonight. Scott Reese, Tino Martinez, Jeff Brantley, and Tim Kirkchin. It is 10 o'clock on the West Coast. Sports Center coming your way 20 minutes from now. But we continue on with more baseball. The Cubs and the Twins. And remember the 2001 draft? Joe Mauer drafted ahead of Mark Pryor? Well, here they are.
And the Twins didn't take Mark Pryor in part because they didn't think they could sign him.
Well,
both teams did all right.
Oh, they did really well, the
Yeah,
Twins. You get a young catcher who can hit like that,
No
you
worries.
did really well.
Pryor wins that battle, then he gets Justin Morneau, who's been as hot as anybody. Jason Barton has got a 10-game hit streak, so double deuces looking good early on in the 5th. Here's Bartlett. Well, this time he wins the battle. Jason Kubel in to make it a 2-0 Twins lead. Dusty comes out, little conversation. You all right, kid? Yeah, I'm good, Skip. All right, very good. Next batter, Kubel. 2 on, 2 out.
A lot of ball games down the end of the season.
Nothing you can do about that.
Pretty good pitch right there. He stayed inside the ball well and got a little cheap hit there for an RBI.
Pryor, 5 2/3, 8 hits, 3 earned, struck out 4. In the 9th, it's 3-0. Turn it over to one of the best in the biz, Joe Nathan. Lights out.
He didn't get much of a chance there because they kept losing. Now they keep winning. He's getting a chance every night, and he's closing it every night.
And your winning pitcher, Boof Bonser, now 2-1 on the season. But the Cowboy getting back to Pryor. First start was, by all accounts, a disaster. What did you see today that looked a lot better than that first time out?
Well, I thought he made a lot of progress today in the ball game that he was in. And when early in the ball game, he really wasn't getting the extension that you normally see from Mark Pryor. But as the game went on, I thought he really started to throw the ball well. And the key with Pryor is the balance position. You can see him right here using those big legs of his and driving the ball towards home plate. That's what gives him the time to get his arm up and allows him to get the ball towards the plate. Got the ball up to 93 miles an hour. And the one thing that Pryor did do today better than he did in his last start was not only locating the fastball, but you saw that slide step with Castillo, a very fast base runner. He was able to slide step and get the ball to home plate and still throw the ball with some high velocity. I think one of the things that you're going to see from Pryor as games goes along, as the starts goes along, he's going to get his pitch count up a little bit. He's going to get his arm stronger, be able to throw more strikes early. I think he's going to be fine.
Something to build on. The Cubs really looking for anything positive to sort of baby steps towards salvaging this season. And they'll get a big piece of that puzzle back tomorrow as Derek Lee returns from injury for the Cubs. Meanwhile, Reds, Indians, Bronson Arroyo, 4-1 in his last 6 starts. Todd Hollinsworth thoroughly unimpressed.
Hanging slider right there. That ball's up in the zone, and Bronson hasn't been doing that a whole lot this year. He's keeping the ball down. He got that one up and paid for it in that one.
Well, this was a big ball game for the Indians. They had to come out and play well, especially against their in-state rival, the Cincinnati Reds. Paul Bird came out and pitched 8 strong innings of shutout baseball. And that's really what it takes sometimes for the starter to go out and put it on his shoulders and say, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to win this ball game. He put zeros on the board. Wickman came in to save the ball game, and that's what the Indians had to have done.
How about the A's and the Giants? It's just the old Bay Bridge series, and that would be one Barry Lamar. And the 3-0 pitch, you green lighting him?
Absolutely.
That's a fine idea.
Barry was born with a green light.
And that one is not coming back. Number 719 for Barry Bonds. Danny Herron miffed. You know what? You're not the first. You won't be the last.
You know, it's not good to kick something like that because you can always break your foot. I know.
In the 9th inning, here's Bonds, the potential tying run, and Houston Street wants no part.
That's the idea.
Right, 3 walks today, 2 of them intentional.
So, who do you get to pitch to? Ray Durham. Trying to get the sacrifice bunt down with nobody out. Is that high? It's called a strike. Fouled it off, so now it's 0-2. So now you got to take the bunt off and take your chances, let him swing away. And hey, how about that?
Set him up. He set him up right there.
He did. He was toying with it. Another of the 5 walk-offs on this Saturday. Good times in San Francisco. 8-7 is your final. Braves Rays turn back the clock night in Tampa. Wow, we're turning it back to 1975. The Tampa Tarpons.
Well, when the Braves were wearing these uniforms, this is about how they played.
Oh,
Terrible.
goodness. Andrew Jones does not look good with a big afro. 5-4-3. Maybe that saw that picture on the Diamond Vision. It affected his swing.
Oh,
Good effort there by the ball boy. I should have had that.
well, he almost ate that.
Yeah, he did. That could have been disastrous. Get a little ribbon from the bullpen. Next time, kid, next time. In the 8th, Chad Harville, the closer by committee.
Throwing 96 miles an hour tonight.
Yeah, well, he threw well, and he got some help from Jorge Cantu in the 8th with 2 aboard. That helps preserve it, and the D-Rays win 3-2. Just another loss for the Braves. Nats and O's, Mike O'Connor, just 1 win in his 8 starts this season. Bottom 3, Melvin Mora. Marlon Byrd with a beat on it, and a well-timed lead for a Web Gem nominee.
Well, you see him look back, find the wall. What you got to do as an outfielder, you find the wall, then you know where you can jump.
Ryan Roberts, right back up the box. That'll play Jeff Conine. We've got ourselves a 2-2 game, and then a 2-hour, 15-minute rain delay in the 9th. You guys love that, huh?
Never fails, never fails.
When they get back to baseball, Ramon Hernandez, who had homered earlier, hits the game-winning hit. Another walk-off. O's take it 3-2 over the Nationals. We go west and check out our L.A. story. That would be our 30 parks in 30 days and some of the great memories of Dodger Stadium. And there were many. We had to narrow it down. Plus, we touch them all with the likes of Ray Durham's walk-off, Joe Creedy's granny, and a Big Papi who called his shot against the Phils. Been a long time since the Bucks had dropped 10 straight games. 38 years ago, to be exact, 1968.
Look at the Yankees, though. They haven't lost 10 in a row since 1913. It's unbelievable.
That was a down year for me. Tino remembers. So, the Dodgers trying to add to the Bucks' misery. Bottom 2 aboard. Andre Ethier. Hot shot. That'll play Olmedo Signs and Matt Kemp. Ethier's base running, well, that of a rookie. But the damage is done. Dodgers take the early 2-0 lead. Bottom 6, pretty much same story. Same 2 guys on base, and Ethier gets sawed off and punches it in the left. Dodger rookies, I tell you.
You need a 9-game losing streak. You give up hits like that. You just seem to fall behind in games. It's just like a hitting slump.
Now the Dodgers blow it open here. Jeff Kent.
Like 1993.
7-0 Dodgers, so the Bucks have lost 10 straight. And now on ESPN.com, Scouts Inc. explains how unexpected circumstances push Dodger rookies into key roles, and the results have certainly been positive. That segues to 30 parks in 30 days. We are in Los Angeles, Dodger Stadium, one of the gems of the National League. 1978, I was in the bleachers when Bob Welch struck out Reggie Jackson to end a 4-3 victory. Ah, memories.
That was a great match.
October 15th of '88, and this is one of the best of all time.
That's got to be the
one
best
hand.
moment there. One hand, game-winning homer.
Chills
In the
down
World
your
Series.
spine.
Off Dennis Eckersley.
Off of the Eck. Fernando, a no-no on June 29th of 1990, and of course, there was another no-hitter on that same day by Dave Stewart. But they weren't both at Dodger Stadium. July 28th of '91, Dennis Martinez, El Perfecto. Not such a good memory for Dodger fans.
El Presidente.
Some kind of curveball.
And October 2nd of 2004, wasn't long ago, Steve Finley, the walk-off grand slam, and the Dodgers clinch the National League West. But of course, when you talk Dodger Stadium, really, it's all about one thing. The Dodger Dogs.
Dodger Dogs.
Come on. They're up to 450.
And Jeff Brantley's first major league hit.
Jeff Brantley's first major league save.
Who did the hit come off of? Do you remember?
Brian Holton. You don't forget those. First pitch.
All right, Angels and Diamondbacks. 4-0 game in the 7th. Claudio Vargas in control until he loses control big time. High and tight to Juan Rivera. ricochets off the shoulder and hits him in the cheek.
Let's hope that didn't get him in.
He'll play tomorrow. Average fan would never get back in there again. He'll play tomorrow.
So, now 4-2, same inning after Sean Figgins drives in a pair. Orlando Cabrera inside third and down the line, and that is how many straight, Tim?
52 straight games he's reached base safely.
We got ourselves a brand new ball game. Bottom 9, 4-4. Scott Shields, Sean Green.
That's so nasty. Look at that breaking ball.
Outstanding stuff.
And Green, well, must have said a little something there. And Mike Everett. You are gone. The game plays on. 4-4 in the 11th. Let's do some long balls, huh? Touching them all. First, Vernon Wells does the deed twice, both off angles. 5th multi-home run game for Vernon. Got 20 homers already.
Quietly going about his business as usual. Another great season underway for him.
Mariners, Padres, and another double home run threat. Kenji Jojima.
Right. 8 home runs in this game, all solo home runs. The record for solo homers in a game is 10.
That was Chan Ho pitching.
What are you saying? Cards, Tigers. Marcus Timms, 7th home run in June. 15th of the year. Actually leads the team in home runs.
How do you take that high fastball up and away and you hook it out of left?
He's cutting away from him as well.
Joe Creedy, can you take me higher? Inside the fair pole. 3rd grand slam.
Mattingly holds the record with 6 in one season.
Wow. Mariners, Padres, Mike Piazza. This thing goes a long way.
And really high. Look at this thing.
That's in the Western Metal Supply Company. Tied for 40th all-time with Duke Snyder. A's and Giants, Barry, 11th of the year, 7-19 for his career. But that was...
I don't think Danny Herron was real happy.
No, he most certainly was not. But that was not the biggest home run today in San Francisco. This was, after he failed to get the sacrifice down, Ray Durham walks off.
Pretty good pitch, a little slider down, and then he just dropped the head on it.
And finally, another walk-off jack, courtesy of Big Papi. Pretty good pitch there from Flash.
This guy is amazing. The only thing I can think of close to this is Eddie Murray in the late 70s hit a whole bunch of walk-off homers, an amazing clutch hitter. But this guy's unbelievable.
Does it day in, day out, it seems like.
Well, we told you about Vernon, those 5 multi-home run games, and he leads the pack this season. You see Nick Swisher having a great year, Ryan Howard, and Troy Gloss, Wells' teammate, right behind him. Due up here on Baseball Tonight, we flash the leather with reckless abandon, counting down the top 5 gems right after this. College World Series Championship Series, and it's off to a fine start. North Carolina with a 4-3 victory over Oregon State in Game 1. You can be a part of Game 2. That is Sunday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN 2. Let's do the defense. Web Gems, number 5, Jorge Cantu, and this was a critical situation in the game. 8th inning, 2 on, 2 out, and the flip.
The ball gets through, that's a tie score.
Watch this flip. He leads him just enough to take him right over the bag.
Absolutely.
Bang on his stomach. Watch it.
And that's only number 5. Number 4, Freddie Bynum. Now watch him in left field. He kind of says, I don't see it. Where? Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it. No problem.
Because he's in the Metrodome. You like playing there, Tino?
I lost balls like that as well. I was fortunate to recover and catch them, but you lose balls all the time there. It's terrible.
Number 3, Nick Swisher. Todd Green thought he got it. Swisher going, almost into the stands.
It's like a rib injury right there.
Nice play.
And he had that big belt buckle.
And tough in the park you're not used to playing. Number 2, Albert Pujols, the hot shot, Chris Shelton getting dirty. Horizontal.
Great play right there. Great reaction right there. That's some kind of quick diving.
Just one first baseman robbing another. And your number 1 gem comes from the pitcher position. Kenny Rogers, the cat-like quickness. Points on the dismount.
Go for the double play.
Hey, roll a couple of times. Style points.
Web Gems is brought to you by MLB.tv. Watch your team's out-of-market games live from anywhere. Get MLB.tv on ESPN.com.
Our Baseball Tonight stat of the night. The Red Sox, as we mentioned, have not made an error in their last 12 games, and the Cardinals hold the Major League record for consecutive errorless games, 16 straight without a miscue back in 1992. And, of course, the big story as we look forward to Sunday in Major League Baseball, Derek Lee making his triumphant return to the lineup a day sooner than expected.